What's up guys, it's Missy. I'm back with another SimCity Buildit video. So we did a couple of upgrades and it brought us up to level 18. So we did about 3 or 4 upgrades while you guys were gone. And I've got this metals task making, which should be near completed. Having issues with this internet connection. What do you mean failed? Must have been the internet connection. Okay, because I've been on here the whole time dealing with this. Okay, so we'll restart this. But basically, we are trying to get some of the stuff done as far as upgrades go. Okay, we need 1 seed, wood, mineral. Okay. So basically what's going on is we've hit level 18. We are okay to join a group, but my group is actually in war right now. So we're not going to be able to join in that right this minute. So for the time being, we're going to produce a about, you know, like what items you should be producing for money and what items you should be, you know, keeping, what items you should be selling, that kind of thing. Just a quick overview for you guys. If you haven't seen the Missy's Building production guide, you should watch that. Okay, the production guide is extremely important, because what ends up happening is players will make the wrong items and then they'll sell the wrong items thinking that, you know, as long as they're selling stuff, they're making money. And honestly, no, that's not how it works. So let me use this as an example. Let's say that a player does an epic project and they deplete a lot of their inventory by doing this epic project. So the epic project is now over, and what they should have done is they should have assessed their inventory and started producing the most profitable items to gain back the most coin. Once coins were replenished, they can, you know, assess their inventory and see what they need to do to replenish whatever items they need to replenish, such as rolls and melons and things of that nature. But instead, what most people will do is after an epic project, they will sell off all of their goodies as a way to get some quick coin because they're like, oh my God, I'm broke. And so they sell off all their paint, their ladders, or whatever, and then they spend the next couple of days making those same items back when those same items are not profitable, right? So basically, they've taken their high demand, low profitable items, sold them for less money, and then turned around and spent this time making those same items back to replenish inventory. When what they should have done is kept those items and spent that time making high profitable items to maximize their profits, their income. But they didn't. And so now, let's say that they could have made 200,000 coins today and replenished inventory. Now they have basically no inventory, and they have like a little extra coin here, but in the long run, they lost out on like 3/4 of their money because they're selling the wrong thing, right? That just doesn't make sense. So, you know, in a short term, basically what you would look at it like is, if you sell me your paint now for $500, you can sell me that paint now for $500. Except for now, instead of you being able to make, let's say, flour for $1,000 today, you decided that you were going to sell me your paint for $500 and then go home and make that paint because now you've sold your paint. Which that paint you're not selling because you're keeping. So you have $500 and you have your paint. Whereas what you should have done is kept your paint and made flour and sold the flour for $1,000. You would have had your paint and the $1,000. Does that make sense? that kind of give it into a little bit more perspective for you guys on what you guys are doing when you sell high demand inventory for or low profit items for basically quick money is all you're doing. And that quick money is not in a dire need right now. It's really not. I mean, what are you doing that is so dire need that you need those coins right this second? Most people after an epic project, they just go into a panic because they don't have any coins. What you should be doing is looking at the production guide and getting your production guide set up. People that produce the right items at all times and then produce items they need when need be and use their tokens on the contest of mayors, or they use their tokens to, run nails or donuts or whatever. Those people are the people that don't complain about coins, that are sitting on, 30 million coins or whatever. Those are the people that have money all the time. The people that don't have money are the people that sell whatever the hell they want. They make whatever the hell they want, and they have no routine or structure or common sense about it at all. They just do whatever they can at the time. They have the materials for something, so they make it. They don't have something and they need it, so they make it. Somebody else needs something, they don't even blink. They're just like, okay, here's 47 melons. You got to be more on top of your stuff. You got to play more strategically. Think about if people ran a business this way, you would be bankrupt. You would be absolutely bankrupt if you ran a business like this, or if you ran real life like this. It doesn't make sense to run things this way. For example, beef, right? Beef takes 2 hours, and most people put it up at night because they're going to sleep anyways. But what they're not realizing is ultimately the end result is to earn the most coin. So it's not to have your shop running for the most time, it's to get the most coin. So if you can have your shop run for half the time, so basically let's say you have two options. You can either run your shop all night long and make $1,000, or you can run your shop half the night and make $3,000. Do you know how many people don't look at shit like that and they just say, but I want my shop to be running all the time? But you're trying to make the most money. So yeah, it would be nice. I mean, if you really wanted to, you could wake up in the middle of the night and fill it up with whatever it is that you're producing that's giving you that $3,000 and make $6,000 if you'd like. But if you're unable to do so, then you would go with the fact that you're making triple the coin. So why would you set up a bunch of stuff that makes less coin just to know in the back of your mind that at least your shop's running full time? That doesn't make sense, does it? But that's what people do. They think that if an item sells for they think if an item sells for more and takes longer, that it yields more money. An item can sell for more and not yield more money, okay? It depends on how long it takes to make that item. If it takes you 30 minutes to make something that sells for $500 and it takes 1 hour to make something that sells for $700, then you're still making more money making the $500 item because you could have made 2 of those in the time it takes to make 1 of the other, right? So you're making more money. So keep that in mind when you guys do your shops, to watch those production videos. There's a lot of good information in them for you guys, but more importantly, to watch what it is that you're selling. You don't want to sell your good items. Okay, so right now we're going to focus on, we need to get that last, we need to get an upgrade done for one on our storage. That would be nice. We did unlock the 5-slot factories. We've reached the zone here. We've got one available, so we can go ahead and put one of those down, which we're going to do. But we're not going to put any more down for the time being because it's $20,000 and we only have 43,000, and we're going to be going up in level and stuff, and so it just doesn't make sense to spend all of our money right this very second. Now, if you're somebody who has a bunch of coins or whatever available to you, then yeah, go ahead and buy, you know, all of your 5-slot factories, get them down, and you can also buy the airport if you like, but the airport doesn't need purchased until you get to Mega, because you're not really going to be doing any flights. Okay? Okay. So let's go ahead and start this plastic task here. We'll get that going. Know that if you guys are trying to do the factories, that if you have something making in the factories, you are unable to bulldoze it. So make sure that you don't, you know, fill them up and then be like, oh shit, I was supposed to buy the factory. Okay, so we got those placed down. We'll wait for the plastic, and then let's get these nails placed down. Okay, so we've got the donut shop taken care of. We need to get some sugar. Get some of this stuff sold off here. Again, always selling stuff for max price. So let's see what we need. We need 6 wood, 2 seeds. Okay, wooden minerals, wood, and veggies. Okay, so let's go grab what we need from Global for starters. So we can get 10 wood here, and then we'll go back, do those upgrades. You guys don't really have any reason to hold on to melons other than the fact that you may need them for something, but don't really need to produce anything, you know, profit-wise. So if you need to hold on to them for upgrades or shipments or whatever, fine. But in terms of like profits or whatever, they're not really doing a whole lot for you right now. If we can get these 5 bars, that would be even better. Sweet. Okay, so because this person posted so many, we're going to wait here because they're level 11, and we're just going to see if they post anything else. Which I can't imagine selling that many as a level 11. That's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. At least we'll be able to do an upgrade here. Okay, let's go get those minerals. We'll grab the sugar while we're here, and then we'll go back, do that upgrade. Get that there. Okay, what do we need? 2 wood. So, for those of you who are wondering about the mountain thing that popped up, I did upload a video, but it is a 4-pointer building, for those of you who were wondering. Okay, let's get that done. Now, the donut shop is going to be one of your main money makers, so getting these unlocked is pretty important. Okay, let's get that storage upgrade done. All right, cool. So now we need 1 camera, 2 locks, 1 bar. All right. Get that because we needed 1 veggie for an upgrade. Just double check to make sure there's nothing there. Let's grab that. Okay. Okay. All right. We've reached the population requirement for the 5-slot factories. However, we definitely want to make sure that we reach the requirement for the airport when we get to that point, because when we get to Mega, it's really, really important that we are able to do Tokyo flights because they're one of our premiums. So we need 120,000 people for the airport. And then you're going to need even more than that for the London and Tokyo. But that's our next target goal. And so, let's see here. Let's see what we got for parks. We were supposed to, let's put down our Mayor's Pass stuff here. We've got that, which has a pretty wide coverage zone. So it's not really a high pop boost, so I think what we're going to do is place it. Hang on. Okay, let's do that. And then we have the park that we just unlocked, I think. Wherever that was at. Okay, entertainment category. So, trying to think where I want to put this. It's quite large for this map, so I think I've also got that one for 30%. See if we can fit this one back there. You know, hang on here. 2611. Okay, so that can go there for now. That looks like an empty slot. How did I end up with an empty slot there? Okay, hold on here. Let's move these these. Trying to get the most we can here. I think if we put a park there. That one's 4,400, 25, 33. Okay. All right. So, I don't know what the heck is over here that's boosting it that high. Let's put the smaller ones over here where the lower boost is. I think it's just this thing here, possibly. But either way, we're going to scoot this up and then scoot this. There we go. All right. So we're really close to being able to unlock the airport. I think I started the plastic. Hope so. Pretty sure I did. These ads are ridiculous, you guys. I mean, it's cool when you have like mayor's assignments and stuff, but man, it's ridiculous. Especially like if it's, you know, longer items, I can understand, but when it pops up on like metal, it's just like, why? I mean, the good thing is you can click off, but all right, how many more do we got to do here? I need about 10 more, roughly. Okay, that should do it. And then we've got seeds that we need. Do some minerals here. All right, what do we need? 2 seeds, 1 donut, 2 metal. Okay, let's sell some of this plastic off here. Rid of those. There's the donuts, but I don't really want to buy 5. Usually donuts sell pretty quickly, you guys, so if you had to buy them, I mean, it's not like the end of the world. Which is surprising, you know, because actually a lot of the profitable items sell rather quickly. Usually things like donuts, nails, they have a higher demand. You know, the game asks for them much more frequently. And of course, there's my one damn donut. But the game asks for donuts like all the time, you know, with repairs and things like that. So you shouldn't have any problem selling those. And the Daniel thing, like, a lot of people complain about Daniel, but surprisingly enough, he's actually a badass part of the game. Without him, we would be screwed. We would be just flooded with stuff. Can you imagine if you couldn't sell something and you didn't have Daniel to clear it out? Like, what would you do? You would just be stuck with it forever, you know, waiting and waiting or having to junk it. So at least that feature is available. Now, yes, it can be frustrating sometimes when you have, you know, items that you're trying to maybe transition over to like a feeder or something. But in all actuality, you're given, you know, 24 to 48 hours or whatever it is to get those items. So, I mean, I would say that it's a pretty damn good asset. Just given the fact that, like, you can fill your uh, your depot with burgers, you know, if you wanted to, or whatever it is that you are full of and that you can't get rid of. And as long as you wait long enough, eventually it will sell. And he does pay the price for what it was up for. He doesn't pay lower. I know a lot of people have that conspiracy theory that, you know, he paid less than what it was posted for. That's not the case. He always pays the maximum. So, or whatever it's posted at is what I'm saying. So it's all in your head. You're just going crazy. Same with the whole, if you have, you know, more of one item, you'll only find that item. That is not true at all. The thing with that is what ends up happening is people go on the global market, okay? And it's kind of like when you're having a bad day and everything else seems to be going wrong, you notice things more. And so what you're not realizing is that rares are not produced, okay? They're distributed out throughout the game. For instance, you can't make a camera, right? So where do all the cameras come from? You really think that all these people are paying cash and selling them on the global market? No. They're coming from, you know, the mayor's pass. They're coming from the opinion bubbles. They're coming from video ads. But initially, that's where they're originating from. Then people get whatever they get from the opinion bubbles, the clip trays, the video ads, the passes and things of that nature, and they sell those items. And usually, most people, what they'll do is they'll do an upgrade and they'll sell the excess. Now, what happens is you'll notice that everybody's short on locks for a long time. Like, you'll say, hey, you know, I'm looking for locks, and everybody will be like, yeah, me too. I have an overload of cameras, but I'm, you know, really short on locks. That's because that's what's going on in the game at that time. That's what they've decided to do. Then all of a sudden, it'll shift, and it'll be cameras. And you know that this is true because you can change over, you can take all of your storage items and put them onto a totally different city. And you could have no storage items whatsoever on your city that you're hunting rares for, and you'll still be short on that same item. So it has nothing to do with, you know, oh, you have cameras so you won't find cameras. No. Or, you know, you have like all of the cameras, but you'll never find locks, and that's all you'll find. Like, that's not how it works, okay? Usually the game, it shifts. You know, it seems to be about every 4 to 6 weeks you'll notice a huge shift in rares. Like, for a while there, it was exhausts. You know, everybody needed exhausts. Not just you, but everybody. Then it switches, and now everybody needs blades. But usually, this, in one way, usually this kind of helps to even things out a little bit, because you'll have enough upgrades to do, you know, an upgrade 3 or 4 times. If you can find enough, let's say, bars to do it, then it shifts and you get something else in high demand. And so that's how that works. I mean, you got to take into consideration as well, how many rares do you really obtain from this screen? Just from right here. You know, like, you see a camera advertised right here, you get there and it's there and you get it. That happens more often than not. You end up getting there and it's already been sold. And the reason for that is because you're not seeing that advertised, you know, the second that it gets advertised. It could have been advertised for a while, and you're getting the tail end of that advertisement. So just because you just seen it doesn't mean it was just advertised, right? So that makes a huge difference. And then, you know, taking into consideration that algorithm is not affected by inventory. The amount of programming that would have to go into scanning your inventory at all times to spit out the algorithm on the global market, and then it would have to change per depot. How are they going to change it per depot on top of it? So you go to, they have the algorithm of what you see here based on supply and demand. So if the supply goes up and the demand is low, you're going to see an overflow of something, right? So you remember a couple weeks back when we had the Easter items, the Easter shop? Nobody had any sugar. I said before that even happened. Like the moment that I seen the ingredients on the Easter shop, I was like, be prepared to not see sugar for the next couple of weeks. And sure as shit, there wasn't any sugar on the global market. The moment that that Easter shop became, non-existent, all of a sudden, the sugar was back on the global market, because people weren't using it as much as they were then. Like this week, you're going to see an obscene amount of mountain items. Okay, so be prepared for that. Because of that mountain promotion for the waterfall, you get 15 of each of the mountain items with that promotion. So you're just going to see an overflow of mountain items. It's not, you have mountain items, so you see mountain items. It's just what's going on in the game right now. So think of it as supply and demand. That's why they don't allow a search feature on the global market. Because let's say that you have, the way people think it works is they think that global takes all of these items that get advertised and they only show you a percentage of that item, right? But in turn, what's really happening is all of these items are getting thrown into a big pot, okay? And you take all of these items that are getting advertised that are thrown into this big pot, and the high demand items are selling at a rapid rate, leaving this overflow of excess items that are not being purchased, like sugar, cheese fries, was burgers for a long time. Then people started buying burgers for burger farming. And all of a sudden, the burger world went down. People started realizing burgers are a non-profitable item to produce. So why are we making them? And so the burger, stuff has went down a lot, but the sugar is really, really high. But the problem is when you don't have sugar unlocked, you don't just see a lot of rares. Like people would think, oh, I don't have sugar unlocked, I'm just going to see all these rares. So let's go back to a couple of weeks ago when we had the Easter shop in play. You guys were higher level players and you had no sugar in your global market. Did you find more rares? No, you didn't, because it doesn't work that way. You're not going to just be like, oh, I'm going to find a whole bunch more rares. It's not going to be that drastic. What ends up happening is when you're a level 17 player, or level 16 player, and you don't have sugar unlocked, what ends up happening is you have less depots accessible to you. You may have like 3 or 4 depots that you can even see. Then you unlock sugar, and yeah, the whole thing may be sugar, but the whole thing wasn't there to begin with before anyways, right? You didn't have a full wall of other depots. You had like no wall of depots. So now you just have a wall of, I don't know, about 75% sugar, but the wall that was 75% sugar was never there to begin with before. So you just have more depots to bounce around to. You have a higher chance of finding rares now because you have more depots accessible to you. But you don't want to go past that, right? Because now what you're doing is you already have these depots accessible to you, and every level thereafter that you upgrade, you have to consider what item are you unlocking and how is it going to affect your global market. If you're unlocking something like, let's say, a microwave or a backpack, let's just say hypothetically that you unlocked a backpack at level 25. And that was all you unlocked. You would be able to go up to level 25 without your algorithm being hardly screwed up at all, because you never see backpacks. They're almost never on global because their profits are terrible. So when you take into consideration that you unlock ice cream at level 25, it's not enough to kill your algorithm, but it will have a little of an effect on it, being how ice cream is, something that gets produced quite a bit. But it's not going to be super drastic, But what people don't realize is you're not just unlocking ice cream, you're unlocking a couple other things. So as long as your storage is, damn near maxed out, if you absolutely had to go up to level 25, maybe for the design challenge or something, then you would be okay to do that. Or maybe you accidentally upgraded to level 25 and you're like, oh my God, what do I do? You're not totally screwed. Okay, your algorithm doesn't totally go down the shitter until about level 30. Level 30 to about 31 is when things start to get really ugly for you guys. And between level 30 and 43, you unlock all of the items in the game, even the regionals. Okay, so like you don't, when you unlock a regional map, you don't get all those regional items unlocked right away. You have to hit level 35 to get the last one. But the majority of what you guys are doing is being unlocked between level 30 and 43 is when you're going to see the most of it. Okay, so just a quick, recap on that. I see a lot of people questioning with the old guide how it says to not go up to level 24 until you have 50 storage. That was back when you could play the Contest of Mayors at a much easier rate before, you unlocked it at level 11, before the VU pass. And with the VU pass and everything the way that it is, you're better off going up to level 24, camping at level 24 rather than level 20. And that way you can get those epics done at the right time and everything is just going to fall into place. Okay, so it's not super important that you have 350 storage by the time you hit level 24, as it once was. So just be aware of that. Okay? All right, so let's continue on with this. We still need the 2 seeds. I think we've got the plastic done. We can go ahead and collect our points for that. And then, let's see. Now we've got that metal task, which we've got the seeds there. Let's go ahead and sell some of this stuff off here. Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get the metal going here. Give me just a second, you guys. Okay, what's up guys? I'm back. I forgot to actually hit stop on this video, so because it's about 38 minutes, I am going to go ahead and end this video, get it uploaded, and then record the part 9. This is part 8, and I will be recording part 9, and we will get everything going today. Okay? So give me just a second here.